We begin here at 5 with the firefight happening right now in Greer, where crews are battling a growing wildfire. High winds, a big problem with no containment, and that fire has quickly quadrupled to more than 7,000 acres.
A go evacuation order is in effect for Greer, South Fork, and residents living west of Highway 261. There is a set evacuation order. That means be ready to go for River Road in Eager, west to Highway 261.
At least 4 buildings so far have been destroyed, and more people right now being told to get ready to evacuate or evacuate.
Fox 10's Kenzie Beach has been there since last night. She's live in Eager tonight with the latest. When we joined you at 4, behind you, you could see smoke and the fire approaching, and they're worried about spotting out there with the, the embers getting out ahead of the actual fire.
Yeah, that's exactly right, John. Ellen, the wind continues to be a huge issue out here. The one good thing, a promising thing, I can tell you guys, we've been talking about air support for the last 24 hours. They had to shut down all air support last night, could not get air support out early this morning. The good news is in the last hour since we've talked, we have seen one plane fly over this area over here to my left, and that's where that dense smoke has just immensely grown this afternoon, moving eastward. I also want to point out that this afternoon, what really changed, yesterday evacuation orders were in effect for everyone in Greer, South Fork, and residents west of Highway 261. But right now, we are south of Highway 260. These residents here where we're standing, they were all on evacuation warnings yesterday, and about 2 hours ago they were told to leave their homes. So the green tag like this one, it means the sheriff's office, they went to people's home, they knocked. These people with green tags have evacuated their homes, but a couple of people have stayed. I spoke to a resident right over here, the area you see that's kind of open land. They live right behind there. He was telling me his wife, they're older and she is on oxygen, so they're unable to leave their home. But we also spoke to residents that were emotional to leave their home. Take a listen. What was it like kind of seeing how quick the winds shifted today? Show you the power of it, or?
It was a surprise. We stayed up to about 4 o'clock this morning, watching the winds, and we have a little weather station so we can see the direction, and it was a complete surprise that it shifted so rapidly. It's really hard, and I think it's more worrisome for our children out in California.
Yeah.
But here we've had plenty of warning. We had a whole day to get organized. The last time we had all of our bags stacked by the door, and somebody came by like you and said, "How long is it going to take you to get out of here?" I said, 10 minutes. Yeah. You know, you got to be prepared.
And that's the thing, a lot of people in these areas that have been under evacuation warnings, they were taking this seriously. They were ready to go. So when that changed from a set to go, they were ready and they left. Some people a lot more emotional than others. And coming up in the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to talk to the town manager of Eager, and he was just saying that people are emotional leaving their homes because they've worked their whole lives for this. The biggest thing is right now it's that wind, John, as you mentioned, potentially carrying embers over this way. Another thing that he mentioned was staying out of these crews' way. So, I mean, if the fire does move over this way, if these people are evacuated, it gives these crews a path to come in and help with more of the firefight. So hopefully the wind subsides or dies down a little bit, even stays kind of where it's at, because like I said, we were able to see one plane dropping retardant, and then earlier this morning we saw one helicopter, but that is about all we've seen in terms of air support on this Greer fire.
Yeah, you know, Kenzie, you did talk about some of the farmland out there, farm animals out there. As far as the evacuation of those animals, what can you tell us about that? Because that process is something, I mean, that's intense, frankly. Takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, and that's usually, that's a very big process with fires like this out in this type of terrain. This morning we were over at the rodeo fairgrounds. That's where they're evacuating all livestock. And I would say in the last couple of hours, when this area to my left switched from a warning to a go, that's when you started to see a lot of trailers. I actually spoke to a gentleman in the parking lot for a while, and he was saying him and his family, him and his neighbors, they kind of work together of how are we going to load up what we can and take what car and do it the best way possible. I will say that speaks to this community here. We've had a handful of people even stop and check on us, but people helping their neighbors that might need help evacuating their homes and just kind of figuring out where they're all going to go and kind of wait this out.
Some great folks up there, no doubt. Kenzie, thanks. Kenzie Beach, nice work on the fire and stay safe.